How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTCReaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. So over on Dixie for the daily, we do have that MPP probability of pushing to the 109, and we are continuing above our channel, but I would watch as we may have a rising channel here, and this rising channel could end up breaking us down if we're not careful. So watch if we do end up pushing to that 109, because that could end up bringing us down in the long term, which would be positive for crypto, because usually when Dixie sells off, crypto does continue up. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI has strength, VWAP does have a lower high, so watch if that rounds away. If that rounds away, we could start to see that momentum lose strength, and money flow could start to reverse, showing people are selling, which again would be more positive for crypto. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are continuing ahead of our altcoins, so that just means Bitcoin's not losing as bad as our altcoins. I would watch though. This push forward isn't really helpful for Bitcoin gaining traction unless lower time frames continue to push forward. VWAP is in bullish territory, momentum is heading up, and money flow is well in the green. We do have continued green candles after hitting that value area high, but we have been pushing up for several days on end, so I would watch against a retracement at least to that value area high. So over on total, which if we do see a retracement on dominance, that means our altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin at least for a little while. Over on total for the daily, we are retesting that support level we said to watch out for quite some time. Momentum is losing strength, VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is starting to push down. Now, RSI is losing strength due to our stochastic losing strength as well. So if that stochastic does not reverse, our RSI could lead price lower. I would exercise caution there. Over on the 1 hour, we do look like we do have lower lows and lower highs. I would watch though, as we could have a descending channel, and a descending channel, unlike a rising channel, would bring us up. So if you get those candle bodies and the tops, so that MPP does say we could make a lower high. A lower high may bring us down for a short time, but I would watch that lower high very close, because that would be our third touch to the top of this pattern, and on that third touch to the top, you usually get your break forward, which could bring us to just over that 1 trillion mark. Stochastic does want to push up, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum is pushing forward, but that money flow is red, so watch that VWAP close. If it rounds away, getting a shorter high, we could still see losses here, but if that VWAP stays bullish, it's likely we would see that breakout. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we do have a bit of a round, not too much, so we are pushing down. We do look like we want to get a little bit of a bounce here, so watch those lower time frames. VWAP does have a lower low, momentum is pushing down, stochastic's losing strength, RSI is lowering due to that stochastic losing strength, which is bringing price with it. And would watch, remember, we still have that high chance to fill that gap. That gap would be the ideal scenario to fill. If we make a bounce there, then we could solidify forward without hopefully filling those lower gaps. But keep in mind, if we do not hold in that 80k range, then we do have lower targets as well. So over on futures for the daily, we do have a descending channel if you mix these candle bodies and wicks, so it depends on your trading style. Some people will, some people won't. If you do, this could push us up, that could give us bullish traction, that could give us a push probably around that 105 range, depending on where we broke out from. So we do have 2 touches to the bottom, 2 to the top, watch for that third touch to the top. If we get that third touch to the top and VWAP stays bullish, it's likely we would break out and continue forward, possibly continuing higher and strengthening higher time frames, which would push Bitcoin up as well, because remember, futures does trade at a premium. If you haven't already, smash the like, hit the subscribe, and join us in that Discord. But stochastic is weakening on the daily for Bitcoin, leading that RSI lower, VWAP is pushing down, and money flow is weakening. The MPP does say there's a high chance we do break around that 80k, 82k range here as well, so I would just keep a close eye. It does say there is still a probability to make a higher low though, so that could be positive, because if we get that higher low and continue forward like it states we could here, then we may retest the top of that channel and continue for new highs. Our channel here does say we could retest those previous highs, so I would watch. That would be positive if we can test them, consolidate, and then push forward from there. As the consolidation would create a support level, and it would help us not move very quick one way or the other. Remember, you don't want to shoot straight for the moon, because if you do, you're going to come crashing down. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is gaining strength, momentum is pushing forward with bullish divergence, so that's kind of when you get that pinch point that explodes up. VWAP does want to push forward, but watch that VWAP. We did get a little bit of a weaker wave here, but now we're trying to push forward. So if that VWAP can stay bullish from here, we will continue higher. We will retest this channel, and we could break out. I would watch though, as we do already have 3 touches to the top, and usually on that 3rd touch to the top is when you break up. So if we do make a lower high here, there may be a chance of breaking that 93K and continuing lower. Watch that VWAP very close again. If it gets a short wave here, then rolls over and favors bearish, momentum will remain bearish, money flow will reject, and higher time frames will weaken. Over on graph for the daily, we are pushing down toward that 20-cent area, much like we warned about over the last several days, so hopefully you've been listening. And if we don't hold this range, we could revisit that 16,316 soon. That would be pending that value area high break. And then I would watch for that point in control to be a sticking point. If we can jump off that point in control after breaking the value area high, we could see bullish traction, but watch lower time frames. VWAP is weakening, momentum is dropping, RSI is weakening. So again, watch very close as we have lower highs and lower lows on those higher time frames. If lower time frames stay weak, higher time frames will continue to push down. Over on graph for the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows. I wouldn't say they really connect too well as we kind of just fell off a cliff right here. You may be able to draw a descending channel in this range, but that descending channel, much like everything else, could retest resistance areas, providing we continue with higher highs and higher lows. If we continue seeing these lower highs and lower lows, bearish continuations will keep happening and we will end up breaking support levels. VWAP does have a very short wave here. I would watch as it's rounding away. If that VWAP gives up its strength, momentum will reject, money flow will remain red, and higher time frames will break down. So watch that VWAP very close. Over on Anchor for the daily, we broke all the way down to our 34.55, so we broke that 40.49 and just continued through several support levels. I would watch, we did fill our buy order, so that is positive for us in the short term. Momentum is pushing down, money flow is weakening, VWAP is pushing down, stochastic and RSI are weakening, so again, exercise caution here. Over on the 1 hour, it does highlight we have a lot of buying opportunities, so hopefully you've been watching and averaging in like you should. DCA in, DCA out. Our stochastic does want to push up. RSI is trying to gain strength, so stochastic can break and hold above 30. We will continue forward. VWAP is trying to break bullish, but we have a very short wave. So again, watch that very close because if that VWAP rolls away, we will break that support level. And our MPP does say we could push down to about that 29.38. So pay very close attention to that VWAP, just like everything else. Over on XRP for the daily, we did try to break our channel. We did say that could be a possibility, so just watch very close. We did come close to that $2. It looks like kind of hard to see with this big text box. RSI is weakening, momentum is dropping off a cliff, VWAP is favoring bearish, so I would exercise caution here. Over on the 1 hour, if we look at our flag, we may be pretty maxed out. We have more than 3 touches to the bottom. We did make a good bounce, so as long as we continue with higher highs and higher lows, we could still push forward. But if you notice, our MPP does not say we could break out anymore, so exercise caution because if we get lower highs and lower lows, we will see those lower targets we've been covering. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is trying to push forward, VWAP is pushing bullish, but again, watch as it's kind of stagnating already, and if it creates a weaker wave here, we could see that momentum remain bearish, bringing money flow lower, weakening higher time frames, which would cause us to pull back, and if we don't hold that $2 zone, there is a high probability, according to the MPP, to drop to 73 cents, and again, I would watch these consolidation ranges, like somewhere in this $1.95, $1.55, those kind of ranges there. So over on Algo for the daily, we are overall pushing down. I would watch this very close. Our MPP does say we may make a bounce from here to push to 41.61, and that 85.65 isn't completely shot, but that is a very low probability to still get that high. Momentum is breaking down, VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is causing money flow to weaken with that VWAP dropping down. Our RSI is pretty much falling off a cliff here as that stochastic is pretty beat down, so we don't look too positive on the daily, and that's going to continue to weaken if lower time frames don't gain strength. Over on our 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows, so I would exercise caution. We did retest this 34-cent support resistance area, and we are currently seeing a rejection. If we see this rejection here, we will make a lower high, then continue for a possible lower low to that 28.48, where we may see that 25-cent range, kind of like we've been mentioning for quite some time. VWAP is pushing up, momentum wants to gain strength, and money flows in the red. So with all this selling pressure, let's see how your trading would look if you would be holding on. That is not what we want. We want this. So our paper trading does not look like it's connected for some reason. There we go. So we are at about a decent loss. We had about $2,000 gain. Would have been nice to take profits. We didn't because we're not really too concerned here on our investing portfolio. Investing, you're going to make the best of DCA in, DCA out. And you're not going to be trying to swing all the time. You're just going to look for those really good golden opportunities. That's why we have these orders to buy in still at these lower targets. We filled most of our buy-in orders, so that's positive because we were able to lower our averages, and by lowering our averages, we put ourselves in a better position for when the market makes a bounce. So thank you for watching tonight's video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join us in that Discord. That way, if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask.